One.
Hey, this is Rabbi Mark coming to you live from New York City. It is snowing, and if I stood here long enough, it wouldn't mean anything. I would just get snowed upon, I'd become a human snowman, and I would be desensitized at some point to this beautiful snow, all the cold, and I wanted to talk to you about desensitization. So I'm going to move under my canopy. So in this week's Parsha, Jacob has the famous dream with the ladder, and he's got these angels coming up and down the ladder, and he's having this awesome prophecy from God. And when he wakes up from the dream, the Torah tells us that he is extraordinarily inspired. He says, "Vayomer manara hamakom hazeh." What awesomeness of God is found in this place. Ein zeh ki im beit Elokim v'zeh shar shamayim. This is the place of God, and this is the gateway to heaven. In fact, this is supposed to have been the place we believe that the temple would stand. One of the reasons that the Har Habayit, the Temple Mount, was chosen was specifically because this is where Jacob had his dream. And when he had that dream, when he had that vision from God for the first time, and every one of the patriarchs at some moment has this moment with God, and this is Jacob's time, he was very inspired. He was so inspired that he called the place Beit El, and he made a neder, and he took a vow that he would build an altar in this place, he would serve God, he would give 10% of his annual earnings to charity. He was blown away. This event rocked his world. But if you look at the very end of this week's Parsha, it tells us again, a couple of chapters later, Yaakov halach ledarko, Jacob was walking on his way, Vayifka bo melachim achirim, malachei Elokim. He finds angels of God. Vayomer Yaakov, and he says, Kasher ram machanei Elokim zeh, vayikra shem hamakom machanayim. He sees these angels, and he calls the place, he says, this must be a place. He says, it's machanei Elokim, it's an encampment of God, and he moves on. And he seems to have lost his excitement. The first encounter with God was unbelievable. He vowed to build an altar to give 10% of his annual earnings away. This time, a couple of chapters later, he sees angels. Okay, I'll call the place Machanayim. Where was the passion? And it's what happens to every one of us. After we do something once, twice, even a few times, we become desensitized. I felt that this week with what happened in Israel. We have become so desensitized. 400 rockets rained down on our brothers and sisters in Ashdod, in Ashkelon, not in Ashdod, in Ashkelon, in Sderot, in places near the Gaza Strip. And we are just completely desensitized what our brothers and sisters are going through over there. Only when things get really, really bad, the reporters and the news, the media starts going crazy, and we start wondering what's going to happen. This is happening every day, and we need to realize that things like this are happening to our brothers and sisters every day in Israel. We just become a little desensitized to them. We become desensitized, unfortunately, to our spiritual devotion. We get really excited, and then we do it a few extra times. We have to keep the excitement. We have to remember that God is found in every place, in every day. And not just though that moment, that first time, but the real spiritual devotion is the 10th time. And the real loyalty and allegiance to our brothers and sisters in Israel is every day, not just when the news tells us something is going wrong. I want to leave you with that message, to fight against desensitization. I don't know what the answer is, but being aware that it happens, they say that therapy is half awareness, that is a very, very important thing, to just know that when something happens again and again, we lose that same feeling. But we should always remember it's just as important the 10th time as the first. Shabbat Shalom.